Welcome, Jordan here. So, the lone wolf mentality, a journey that takes you on discovery of who you are, what you're capable of, and you may be experiencing all kinds of results from that. Maybe you've hit goals that a past version of you would have only dreamt of. Maybe you're experiencing a life that is actually great in terms of what you're generating results wise in business or your creativity. But you can't help but feel that there's this part of life that you're not really experiencing or accessing the way that you could. And you're starting to feel the weight of that. In this video, we're going to break down and shed light on the patterns and the truth underneath the lone wolf mentality that actually strip away what you truly want and what you truly desire because of things that have been accumulating over the last number of years or however long you've been alive. This has been a journey for me personally as well. I remember hitting my first 10,000 euros a month in business, and I had been working towards that for such a long time. But in the process of doing that, I had isolated myself. I was traveling around Europe, but traveling all by myself. I had nobody who really knew me around me. I had nobody who really knew me in my life and had nobody to really celebrate this with other than a group chat with a bunch of people who I didn't really know. It made me ask the question, is what I'm moving towards actually what I really want? Is there another aspect of life that is going to make me more fulfilled? Because I could keep going on the trajectory that I was on and keep hitting targets and keep setting new targets. But I had the foresight to see that this is not going to change how I experience life or how I feel. So something was needed. So I moved across the world and started to join more people online first and then in person. And this changed the trajectory of my life because it started to open up what I didn't see and what I had been avoiding the entire time. The interesting thing about business is that it takes you on this journey of self development. You learn so much about yourself along the way, but oftentimes we just play out patterns and stories that we've been telling ourselves for a long time. And that becomes our self narrative, who we believe ourselves to be and how we should be in the world. So when we go on this journey, the very pursuit of something bigger starts to highlight all of the aspects that are not really aligned for where we're actually trying to go. Whether you admit it or not, what you truly want in life is to be deeply fulfilled in all aspects of life, not just to make more money. You want to have great relationships. You want to have great community. You want to be thriving in business and be serving people in a powerful way, but also feeling deeply fulfilled and really being able to feel that sense of love. You could tie every desire that we have back to love in some way, shape, or form. So when we are in this lone wolf mentality, it can show up in a variety of ways, but the two main ways I see for the clients that I work with are business and inner work. Business becomes the pursuit of more, the pursuit of bigger in order to just stay safe and to escape the feeling of loneliness underneath. Another form is inner work, going off and going deep into spirituality or constantly meditating or just trying to find some form of escape almost to the feeling as well. So both of them become this kind of fix to continue the same pattern of really avoiding the deeper aspects that are truly necessary for this to be let go and to actually experience the real fulfillment and feeling that you truly desire. The real deeper question with all of this is the building of the business or the deepening of the inner work really going to lead to the transformation that you're looking for? Or is it just another way to avoid what's truly going to bring light to what you've been avoiding? Let's go a little bit deeper under the surface and really look at two of the main roots that lead to this lone wolf mentality. Our sense of self and who we believe ourselves to be gets formed very early in childhood. So the first one is either that you were not accepted and unconditionally loved for who you are, just the way that you are, so you had to pretend to be somebody else, or you had to step on eggshells in order to keep peace, or whatever the case may be. You had to form into somebody else other than yourself to be able to receive a form of love or attention in some way. The second one is when you feel like you had to take care of others more than you were being taken care of yourself. And I mean your parents in this case. Oftentimes, the children of parents who are going through their own process become the caregivers for their parents, or they become the ones that are actually emotional support or in some way, shape, or form taking care of them by, tied to the first one, pretending to be somebody else to keep the peace. They had to become somebody, or they had to become the problem solver in order to be able to stay safe and to receive love in that way. So you learn that love is conditional based on what you do or who you show up as or what you're able to carry for others. But you also learn underneath the surface that your needs are second to everybody else's. Both of these threads can look different for different people depending on personal scenarios and things like that, but they carry the same essence. It is not safe to be fully unconditionally loved for being myself. There's many different stories that can be created from experiences like this. So let's start to connect some of the dots here, which you may be already doing yourself. When you believe that it is not safe to be fully unconditionally loved just as you are, think about how that affects the story that you bring into relationships or friendships or community. Because if you believe that you have to be someone other than who you are, that's going to feel heavy. You have to put on a mask, you have to be someone else. And that's something to manage. It takes energy. So it's safer to step away from that. It is safer to just be by yourself. It's safer to be the lone wolf. It's the same with taking care of the needs of others. Getting into friendships or even especially a romantic relationship, if you feel like you must carry the relationship forward or you have to manage this person's emotions or you have to carry all of their stuff, you're just going to push that away because that's not something that you want to do. But if you believe that you have to in order to receive love, then you're going to think that that's part of it. So you're going to avoid it unconsciously. Now, there's many different aspects to this, but these are some of the threads that you can pull because there's many stories that we can create around this debate based on our scenarios and our upbringings. So the invitation for you is to look at what stories am I telling myself about love based on my own personal experiences. There's a real hidden cost underneath the surface with this as well, because the very fear of being seen as imperfect or being seen as who you truly are and being loved for that is actually scarier than you wearing the mask because you don't know what that's like because it never was something that you experienced. So that's going to feel scary. But that very fear, that fear of being seen for who you truly are, is the exact fear that keeps you as a lone wolf, that keeps you safe, not being surrounded by people. And this is why I always say that fear is a reversal. The fear that we hold actually creates the exact experience that the fear was there to actually keep us safe from. This doesn't just cost you connection and relationships and friendships and partnerships. It actually affects money as well because money is relational. Sales is relational in relation to building relationships and trust with people in a real way where they feel fully seen, you feel fully seen. And that real connection is what creates deep trust with people. I'm a firm believer that everything that we desire is on the other side of a conversation with somebody. We think when we're avoiding the fear, it actually is us starting to create a sense of self and a sense of identity for ourselves as the one that doesn't need others. But what's really happening is we're avoiding the deeper healing that is actually there for us by going deep into the relationships and putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and being seen just as you are in every way without doing anything, just showing up. You actually allow yourself to be loved unconditionally by others, by friends, partners, clients, whatever the case is, for just being who you are. So if you were to go on this courageous journey of deepening your relationships and actually putting that at the top of the list in terms of your own fulfillment and well-being and actually your business as well, what would that look like? You'd have a couple of friends, maybe a big group, maybe certain people who you can really go deep with, really see you, really support you, and really that you trust on the deepest level. You know, like we don't need many people in our lives to do that. For me, I have two specifically I think of people I can go really deep with. And that's beautiful. It's fulfilling in its own way. To make this practical and actionable right now, think of one person, just one person to have a conversation with, going in with the intention to be vulnerable, to really connect with this person and to make an effort and to go a little bit further than you usually would. What if that was the only invitation right now to deepen this and start this process? With everything that we've discussed here, there's always a deeper layer to how we can transform these things on a more personal level because everybody's scenarios are different. If you want deeper support, unraveling some of these patterns and really getting support in that transformation to experience more of what you truly desire, I would invite you to apply to work with myself one to one or check out some of my other products in the description below as well. To close out today, the question is, can you allow yourself to be seen, loved, and supported just as you are? That's it for today. I'll see you in the next one.